Alexis. Okay. Thank you guys for taking the time to hop on today for a Leader Zoom. There is a topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about and get your input or opinion or advice or anything that you want to add. So, me and Cindy were talking about this. Catherine, I'm going to mute you because I hear babes. But me and Cindy were talking about this the other day, and I apologize for not letting you know, Cindy, that I'm bringing this up right now. But so we were talking about how especially having leaders step up. And, a lot of coaches come into this business thinking like it's going to be easy, first of all, right? Like everyone's going to come to them if they create the perfect post or if they share their journey the best way they can or X, Y, and Z. And then often when you start growing your team as a leader, even if you have one coach or two coaches or whatever, your coaches keep coming into you and they're like, I'm not being successful. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. But then you look at your team and you look at yourself when you're saying, I'm not being successful. I'm not progressing in my business. I'm not doing the X, Y, and Z. And you ask yourself, why? Like, why am I not progressing? Why am I not moving forward? And I see leaders, like even Cindy said this last night, like leaders question, like, why can't I get rockstar coaches? Or, coaches that come into this business and they lose sight of their own journey. They're like, why am I not making progress? And the thing is, like we touched on last night, doing the action steps, right? Like actually implementing the things that you need to do every day. And the thing is, like, we are a very unified team. Like we are very unified. We are very family oriented, but I also think like we miss the mark at times. Like we don't show up when we say we're going to show up, or we aren't as dedicated as we say we're going to be. Like we really want it and we say we really want it, but then something happens, like you spend an hour longer at the grocery store and miss your power hour because they have Halloween decorations, or, like all these, like you guys can read, like all these things that pop up that are not a priority of yours, that don't align with your goals, that keep you from reaching true success. And I want our team to be so strong. Like Joelle made I don't know if she shared this in her big team group or the leaders page, but the Misfits leaders, which is diamonds and above, but she said that she has a goal for how many coaches that she wants Misfit Republic to have. And I personally said that I want Unstoppable Misfits to be 1,500 strong. And I talked about this on the Leader Zoom, the first Leader Zoom that we had. I said, in 2017, I wanted to have 15,000 in the downline. Yes, we started off at 13,000. Now we're roughly around 700. But the way that...
1,300, not 13,000.
Yeah. 1,300. we just dropped a whole bunch. But
a lot of volume.
Yeah. But the way that we get there is we have to do work. Like we have to do work. So I'm going to call somebody out. She's not on here, but I'm going to call someone out because I texted her this morning and I said, I'm bummed that you missed last night's team call. It was so good. And she is a leader. And she told me the topic didn't interest me. And I was like, okay, to each their own. Not everything is fit for everybody. I understand. But I think as a leader, like we need to do something beyond ourselves, right? Like me and Cindy were talking about this morning. Are we going to do the prep for 80-day obsession? Are we going to switch from Body Beast to Autumn's workouts? Or are we going to do 80-day obsession? I personally am not the biggest fan of Autumn. Sorry, not sorry. Like I love Sigi. He's my jam. I love Joel and Jericho. They're my jam. I love Chris Downey. He's my jam, except his workouts hurt my knees. I'm not the biggest fan of Autumn. But I told Cindy, I was like, I feel torn because as a leader, I feel like that's something I should do for my team. Not just for me, but for my team. So I think there comes a time where as leaders, we have that responsibility. Like we need to show up. We need to show up every day to our own workouts. We need to show up every day to our own personal development. We need to show up every day to our own power hour. We need to show up every day on team calls or listen to the the Northwest call, the national wake up call. We need to show up and do the things that we want to duplicate unto others. Like we got to think like, if my coaches did what I did today, would they be successful? And you got to think, if not, then you need to really look in the mirror at your own reflection. Like I got this in the book I'm reading, Adventures for Your Soul. It says, it's all about the reflection. Like look in the mirror. You can't sit there and pick apart your team and saying like, they're not successful. They're not doing their job. They're not doing this. We got to look in the mirror and be like, what am I not doing? What am I not doing that could progress my team going forward? But we all got to do that as leaders. What do you guys think?
Well, I 100% agree with that. Like, I mean, I like personally, like for me, I see people who outside of Beachbody or, you know, I'm surrounded by a lot of leaders just with the nature of my accounting job too, and small business owners and people who are entrepreneurs and start something from nothing. And that's something that I've always thought of too. Like, I've never understood when people complain about their team. Like, I don't complain about my team, except for the only thing I'll complain about is I don't feel like they value what I have to offer. Like, that's something that I think that they take advantage of it, like a lot of times. And you know, I've shared that with them too. And, you know, but the thing is that like, I've never been a coach that sat around and said, why are none of my coaches working? Because I know for a fact that a part of leadership, whether it's in Beachbody, whether it's in your family life or relationships or a traditional business, is when you step up into leadership, the end is you, right? Everything, even at a job where you are a supervisor, it doesn't even have to be an entrepreneur. Like, people who succeed in any aspect of life are willing to take 100% responsibility for where things are at right now, right, and move on from that. And like, if you're not working, your coaches aren't going to work. Like, you have to take responsibility. You have to do things that, if you want to have that title of leadership, that title, right, you have to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do, even when you don't want to do them. Like, bottom line, you know, like whether it's hosting team calls or doing, you know, sneak peeks or hosting. I used to host team calls and no one would show up. And I'd literally sit there by myself. Like, when I first started hosting team calls for my team, after I went diamond, and I'd literally be like, cool, you know, and just sit there. And then, you know, and then one or two people started showing up, and then it was like 4 or 5, you know, and it just grew from there. But I didn't stop not showing up because no one else was showing up, right? You know, I had to keep showing up, even though, you know, how does that make me feel, right? When I'm taking time out of, you know, I have a family, I have fucking 3 kids, you know, that want to spend time with me and eat dinner with me every night, but I still show up for the team calls and stuff. So I don't know. I think that that's a huge thing. And I think that too many people like try to put off like why they're not successful. Like, we make a lot of fucking excuses. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, you know, I mean, like, I know exactly why my team isn't flourishing. That's not bullshit to me, like, because I'm not flourishing, right? So I'm working on my own shit to fix that. Like, I'm not working on their shit. I'm working on my shit because
you're on fire today.
Well, no, because I know when I rise up, they'll rise up. I see it. I've seen it happen over the years, right?
Yeah.
Mine, you know.
Absolutely.
You want to know why? Because I'm on day 3 of my fucking miracle morning. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh. See what happens when you do your miracle morning every day?
I love it. No, you're absolutely right. Oh, Corinne, she's unmuting.
Well, for me, right now, I'm reading a book called Switch. And I think, Cindy, you said you had read it too before. Vicki, have you read it?
I
was going to say it's delicious, but it's wonderful is what I really meant. It's delicious too, I guess. And it breaks down really well, I find, what causes people to not change and what would cause them to change, right? So like, when you have to make a switch, you got to make a change to see a difference, kind of thing. So personally, and like in the big way that he describes it is that you basically have a rider who's leading an elephant, okay? And so the rider is like your analytical side, like your conscious side that's like, okay, you got to do this because you want to earn an income for your family and you want to, you know, like you whatever kind of like numbers and like, commonsensical reasons why you should be doing this, kind of like that's your rider. But the elephant's your emotions. And your emotions, in the beginning, the rider can be really strong and can get you going and can keep that elephant going because the elephant's like agreeing with it. But then your emotions will become really strong, and we'll see if those emotions sort of turn towards negative feelings of fatigue or discouragement or fear or all of these other aspects that come into play. Then the rider is not strong enough to continue. So I agree with what you guys are saying. As leaders, we've got to get a team calls. We have to show up when we say we will. We have to do this and that. Those are all, in my eyes, rider activities. And if that elephant's exhausted or if that elephant's struggling, the rider can't support him. So for me, I feel like our role has to be much more like in this book, it's direct the rider, which is basically kind of like give them very clear, because the rider can get caught up in too many like problems. They overthink. Analysis paralysis is the rider. So the way to help the rider overcome that is give them a very clear direction. Do this, and you do it based on your bright spots that you've had in your career. Like, do what you did with this coach who's had success, or do exactly what you did with that client who joined your group and was successful. Okay, so that's like the path or the direction. And then anyway, so there's like different steps for every one of them. And I'm still reading the book and it's like a bit complex, but it makes sense too. And I feel like myself personally, I actually did a little meme about it this morning. Like, I feel like that elephant, where it's like, I know I should be the rider riding that elephant and like doing exactly what I should be. But the elephant inside of me, for some reason, is not connecting to it as much as it once was. And there is a lack or a bit of passion and drive and vision and direction that is not as strong as it once was. And I hate to admit it. I wish it weren't the truth. I really, really do. I think about it every day. I work on it every day. But the reality is that that's where I'm personally at in my career. And I want to change that, though I haven't yet, or I haven't today. And so that's what my thing is, more like, how do we get ourselves to take those actions that we need? Like, how do we help ourselves tap into those emotional things that'll get us to do it? And we talk about why a lot. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, why would I want to show up on a team call? Like, not me, but like anybody. That's what everyone's thinking. Why would I want to do my workout? Why would I want to invite people? It's not clear enough for them in the moment. So I think for us as leaders, we have to work on developing that.
Well, maybe
which I think is a huge, huge thing. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is so easy.
Right. No, absolutely. I think because so many people's whys are so different, like, why would I show up on a team call? Why would I do my workout? Or why this? I think that we can come together and do like, why not? Like, why not? If it helps you reach your goal, if it helps you feel more confident in your own skin, why not do your workout? If it helps you progress and be successful in your business, why not show up on a team call? If it helps you reach out and connect with people, why not do your power hour? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just because I think, but I think a lot of times people are so, like, especially as a new coach, everyone shows up as a Beachbody or signs up as a Beachbody coach for, a plethora of different reasons. But a lot of it stays so surfacial. Like, they really don't dig deep and really think about why they're doing this. Because like Corinne said, like, when you lose that passion, or when you start feeling overwhelmed, or you start like losing that fire in your belly, when you used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday and like excited and couldn't help but reach out to people, like, where's that point? How do you get back on, how does your elephant get that emotionally strength again? So your rider's like, okay, let's go. And you could team up together, and you could, like, how do we get to that point? And how do we get to that point? And how do we duplicate that?
I know. I think it's a great question. I keep asking myself. And the funny thing is that it changes in every stage of your life too, And so, like, for like in the beginning, it was fresh, it was new, there was a lot of, whatever, things were going really well within Beachbody. So it's like the elephant was more engaged. And you know what? That's probably going to happen. I could see it happening because there is a shift happening within our larger team too. And with the UK launching and with ADD Obsession, even though I know Autumn's not my number one girl either, but I love this time eating system, whatever is coming out. Like that sounds very appealing. So there's a shift coming, and that can be enough to revive a lot of elephants, for lack of a better word. But I think it's still a work in progress. It's still a conversation personally that I'm having with myself, and that I think as leaders, we have to be mindful of it and sort of like think about where we want to go with that.
Right.
Speaking of going, I'm sorry, I have to go.
Well, before you go, I'm going to take a picture.
Okay.
Because you're on. Okay, ready? Everyone smile real quick. Okay. Thank you, Corinne.
You're welcome. Sorry, I feel like I wasn't really helpful. I just added like more like problems.
No, you didn't. That was
maybe
good.
People thinking like, if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling discouraged, recognize that that's maybe just where you're at right now. But the good thing is there are solutions. You can absolutely get out of that. We just have to work on it and find it.
Well, the first step is becoming aware.
Yeah, totally.
And Corinne, before you go, can I just say, like, I love what you said too about really focusing on what has worked for you in the past, or like when you've done that. I think that we're constantly trying to reinvent things over and over again. And like, that's something that I've been doing, is trying to go back to just the simplicity of the things that I know work and that I know add value to other people and allow me to serve other people and serve myself better. And now that I'm doing that, it's like things are fun again and things are working again, like in my own personal progress and stuff like that, and so like I think that that's something really to like hone in on that, really finding that, going back to like what works, right? Because I think we get so many freaking shiny objects around here that it's like no one knows what the heck they're doing. Like I loved what you did say in the leaders group today about having a common vision, like and I think that is definitely important. Like we all have our own whys, but I think having a common vision and mission for our team and stuff like that is definitely really important,
To invite to, because I think that that's something like, I should go, I'm sorry, I keep hogging this conversation, but it's like we have this vision to join for ourselves, which is wonderful, but it doesn't empower us to get others to join us. And we all know that true growth in this will come from empowering others to join us. And everything we want from it is going to come from us empowering others to join us. So it's like for me, I feel like I try to do this with my team. I don't feel like I've succeeded with my own little personal team. But I feel like if we collectively, every leader wants that. So why don't we work together somehow to come up with like a mission that really encourages recruiting, really, not in a dirty sense, but in a very positive, empowering way that will improve everyone's lives. Let's see. Anyway, sorry, I gotta go. Thank you. We'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, Corinne has to hop off early because she has to go get her daughter. All right, does anyone else have any input? Sydney unmuted herself again.
No, I never muted myself.
Oh.
I was going to say, though, there's a new book that I haven't read, but y'all know I love Simon Sinek. Like, he's one of my favorite authors. And like,
I'll start with why.
Well, no, his Leaders Eat Last was like life-changing for me. And just really, that's actually one of my affirmations every day is be the leader you wish you had. And, because it gets really easy to blame, like I could blame so many things on you, Vicki, no offense or anything like that, but I could blame, right. Which I'm sure I know for a fact that my coaches have sat around and talked about how I'm incompetent in XYZ area, or it's my fault, or I'm not doing this for them, I'm not doing that for them. Like, because everyone does it. It's human nature. It's not, I would be stupid and naive to think that it's not the case, right? And I would be arrogant to say I've never done it myself, which, I've already talked to you about that. Like, I have told you
He blames me for everything.
Secret. You were keeping the secret for so many of us for so many years, this magical secret that you had, right? But he has a new book out called Find Your Why. And I haven't bought it yet because I'm not buying any new personal development books. because I'm on a year-long shopping ban, which I'll be posting about on social media soon. But I know. So I have it on hold at the library, so it hasn't come yet. But it's Find Your Why, a practical guide for discovering your purpose for you and your team. And I think it really kind of coincides with, because he has his book Start With Why, which I've also read, which is how, like, when we market to people, we have to start with their why and like start with, how it's not going to be our product that people are connected to, but the reason we're doing what we do. Right. But this, I really feel like, helping our coaches and especially like the newer coaches on our team really figure out really from the beginning, like what their why is what's going to keep them showing up on team call, like exactly what Corinne was saying. I feel like a lot of coaches don't really, they don't really know why they're here beyond the excitement of signing up, right? They were just excited about challenge group, or they were excited to do something, but they're just not like, you can only sustain that for so long, right? And I know for me personally, like my own why has changed multiple times over the past 5 years, right? And it's gotten more complex and deeper and more tied to like my entire vision for my entire family and family tree and how I want that to like downplay in like generations to come, right? Which is, which I would have never thought that when I first just signed up for a discount, right? So, but I really want to read that book, but I think that would probably be a really good book, for everyone to read, maybe. And he Entrepreneur on Fire, that one that you told me about, that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to it yet, but he actually just interviewed Simon Sinek on the book.
Oh, awesome.
So it came up in my.
That'd be a good one to listen to. I love that podcast. Same with Mind Your Business podcast is really freaking awesome.
Wait, no, maybe it was that one. Because I don't listen to the Entrepreneur on Fire anymore. I didn't like that one. Dude, my freaking phone, you guys. This is like what happened to me last night. Goddamn iPhone updates. I can't even find any of my podcasts anymore. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, Mind Your Business podcast is awesome. Simon Sinek is awesome. When he spoke at...
No, I think it is the Mind Your Business one, because I got rid of the other one. The Entrepreneur on Fire, I think, because I didn't like that guy. He was just annoying.
Tell us how you really felt.
He was annoying. I thought I just said.
Dude. You can click on library and all your podcasts will show up.
Dude, like I'm trying to, but it's like just, did you do the update?
Yeah.
It's only showing me 4 podcasts, and I know I have more than 4 podcasts.
Oh, those are because you have to go to shows. Click shows.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm so retarded right now.
I'm beating her. Hold on. Where's my Mind Your Business? Oh, here it is. Brian Kurtz, Damon Kurt. Wait, was it recently that he did Simon Sinek?
Yeah, I thought.
Anyways, I bet you I could Google Simone.
Oh, wait. I'm wrong. Okay, it's a new podcast I'm listening to, The Kim Coleman Show. Sorry.
Kim Coleman?
Yeah, Ken Coleman. He's actually like he's the guy that hosts EntreLeadership for Dave Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
Their entrepreneur. He has his own show, and basically it's about.
Is it CIM or KIM?
KENCOLE.
Oh, Ken. They said Ken.
And it was Fridays. How to Find Your Why with Simon Sinek.
Okay, cool.
It's an hour and 41-minute long podcast. That's because Simon Sinek's like the bomb dropper.
But you guys, like, he's one of those talkers, like him, John Maxwell, like Lewis Howes, even, like, they talk, and the way that they talk, it just like pulls you in. Like Gary Vaynerchuk too, like you get excited with them, and like, so an hour and 40 minutes, I feel like it would fly by.
Simon Sinek is by far my absolute all-time favorite speaker at any summit.
He's
or
awesome.
Anything I've ever seen. When he spoke at Summit, I was like mind blown.
Yeah.
It was just like, he's amazing. I can hear it because he's got that British accent too. So you're like, what's the talk forever?
Personal reasons, right? Yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here, guys? So as leaders, what we all can do is do our power hours every day, do our workouts and drink our Shakeology, or day. Host challenge groups or invite to a challenge group every month. There's no excuse not to have people in sneak peeks or free groups. Those are both free. There's absolutely zero excuse not to have anyone in those groups. The only reason you wouldn't is if you're not inviting. And that means you're not doing your power hour, right?
And I gave you the reason last night as to why you should be inviting every single person you know, basically.
Yeah. And if you weren't on last night's team call, watch the recording. It is not an hour and 40 minutes, but it's close.
Almost.
Cindy told me yesterday, she's like, I have notes. And I'm like, yes, it's going to be quick. And I'm like, no, it's still Cindy.
You want to know why? It's because I didn't even look at my notes. That's why.
I know the first page, you're like, I didn't even look at notes. And I looked at my phone. I'm like, it's already 7 o'clock. What?
I got to slow down and actually look at my notes. That's what I have to do for that stuff. I'll be like, I have notes, people. So if I pause in the middle of when I'm talking, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Yep. So it doesn't last for an hour and 40 minutes.
So I'm actually going to put up a doc in the Unstoppable Misfits Leaders Group. And it's going to be the monthly What is Coaching webinar sign up form. So I want everyone to sign up. It'll be 2 people per month. And me and Cindy talked about doing a challenge group one every month, correct?
Yeah, so we talked about doing the What is Coaching, the 3rd week, and then the sneak peek the 4th week, right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? And then, so the 2nd week, maybe on that Wednesday night or something, if that works, doing the more of like the wine or coffee chat, wine
with challenge group
chat, but like having it be open for people who are interested in challenge groups.
Okay. So we could do that next Wednesday.
Or we could do a challenge group one too, but
I think I think that could be more of a Zoom.
Yeah, I've seen that. I talked to Lindsay Gillifro. I say her name like that to her in person. I'm like, Lindsay Gillifro, I love you. She's like, I can't say her last name. So I've talked to her quite a bit, and a lot of the Flexi Fit Club girls, because they do that. They do open Zooms like that a lot. Mm-hmm. And they say that they work really, really well. And they actually get a lot of people join the coaching opportunity too, because they're like, oh, dang, you ladies are so much fun. And, so, yeah, so I think it would be an awesome thing to do and, have that more like laid back kind of environment, and who knows how many people will show up. Maybe 1 person will show up, 2 people will show up. But that's why it's important for a lot of us to show up too. So that way they feel comfortable and,
Absolutely.
It's a work in progress, right? Like we got to figure out a way to invite to it. Maybe I can message Lindsay and see kind of how they invited to their wine chats. Cause I know they've had a lot of success with them.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you want to message her today?
Yeah.
And then we can figure out the dates on the way there. I mean, you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, so basically, the second and third.
Hold on.
My dang mouse.
So it'll be the 11th so the 11th and the 18th. So the 11th for the challenge group one and the 18th for the What is Coaching webinar.
Oh my God, my freaking phone. Seriously, this is ridiculous. Okay. Maybe we should make it the first Wednesday. 1st and 3rd.
So tonight?
Well, I mean, we don't necessarily have to do it this month, or we could do it on the 11th this month. And
then moving forward,
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Oh, wait.
And next month, it could be the 8th and the 22nd. So that way there's like a week gap, so people can be inviting to like a challenge group and then inviting to the coaching opportunity.
Yeah.
They got to coincide with like the opening of a challenge group, right? So when do you open your challenge group? The 9th?
The 3rd week of the month.
You always do the 3rd week. Okay.
3rd Monday, yeah.
Oh, so the 11th would kind of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough time? 1, 2, 3.
Well, they would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to
Do you open your prep week on the third week or your prep week on the second week?
The prep week on the third week.
Oh, third week. Okay. So they would still have that extra week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless they were just getting a program, then they would have to order by that Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that works, like the 11th. And then
See, I have the coach sneak peek scheduled for the 30th, since I always do the last month or last week of the month. So would it be better to do the What is Coaching on the 25th?
Oh, because there's almost 5 weeks in October. So
Yeah.
November's the same way. Yeah, probably. So that way people can hit Success Club.
Yep. Okay.
So the challenge group invite thing on the 11th, the Zoom, the what is coaching webinar on the 18th. Who's signing up?
25th. 25th.
Julie signed up?
Huh?
I asked Jill if she was signed up already for the 18th.
25th. Remember? Sneak peeks.
Mm-mm.
Is the third.
For the what is coaching webinar would be the 18th, right? And then the sneak peek starts on the 25th.
I just said the sneak peek starts on the 30th because it's the last day of the month or last Monday of the month.
I forgot you do the 5-day one. So
no, we could still do the 3-day one. Sneak peek, because I'm really liking this 3-day one that we have right now.
I think we should do the what is coaching webinar on the 18th and the sneak peek on the 25th. That way people can join before the end of the month.
All right.
For Success Club. I don't know. What does anyone else think? I'm the only one talking. I should mute myself. Someone else talk. I'm muting myself. I'm not talking again.
I haven't been talking because my head literally feels like it's going to explode. So I'm just taking it all in. Kind of looks like I'm crying, but I'm really not. Oh wait, I was like, my kid's sleeping. So the webinar you said is is first, right? The third week or the second week? I mean, the first week, but the second week this month. Is that what you said?
So we're gonna do a challenge group Zoom next Wednesday to invite to challenge group to give everyone like what is a challenge group basically. The week after is the 18th will be a what is coaching webinar.
Okay.
Because we're gonna do our Emerald group again that same week. And then the sneak peek will be on the 25th, which will be a 3-day sneak peek. And
that's the last week, right?
No. Well, that's the last full week because then there's up until Tuesday.
Okay. I mean, that works for me. I think it makes sense to do it that way.
Okay.
I like the 3 days better, too, than the 5 days. I feel like the 5-day sneak peeks are too long sometimes.
Well, this is the first time I've hosted a 3-day sneak peek, and I'm using Cindy's template that I'm really liking. No, it would start on the 19th because it starts on Thursdays, remember? Cindy? She's really not going to unmute herself. The 12th. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Because we have the webinar. Yes. Let me write this in my calendar. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a document. You guys don't be afraid to sign up.
I'm not signing up, so someone else has to.
I'm not either.
Oh, you're not? You're not going to sign up?
Dude, we hosted last month. Me and you can't always be the train conductors here.
Okay, I have a question.
Enjoy the ride. Yes.
So you're saying you want people to sign up to do the webinar?
Mm-hmm.
Like what you guys just did the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for that shit. But that's a good idea, and I'm excited to see who signs up.
You could do it, Vicki, with someone else, with another person.
I could, if anyone wants to sign up with me. How about I will let the person, whoever is so excited, and they sign up first, and then I'll give it a day, and if no one signs up with them, I'll be like, I want to join. Let me do it.
I want to do it.
Pick me. All right, we're going to go ahead and do
They
that.
really aren't that bad. Like, seriously, like, I'll just tell you, like, obviously, you guys see me. I'm a fucking hot mess. Like, on the team calls, I'm a hot mess. The webinar was, like, a freaking hot mess. Like, Vicki and I had technical difficulties.
That was still
I'll
fun.
tell you what, people don't care. Like I said, on our last What is Coaching webinar we did together, we were both crying. It was, like, no scripted. I had a shitty-ass sheet hanging behind me because I had no background behind me. It looked absolutely ridiculous. But like I said, that What is Coaching webinar has been watched by more people than anyone else on Misfit Republic, right? It's had over 1,000 freaking views. So people don't care, right? They just care about you showing up and you. They care more about reality than they do about perfection, right? Oh, look.
See, Jesse signed up halfway through.
Yeah. I had another coach that signed up from that too, you know, and they're just, you know, people just don't, you know, they just want to know that you are who you say you are, right? And I think that a webinar is like a really good way to do that. And it's one thing that I think it's really powerful too, and they actually talk about this. Have you guys read the Get Over Your Damn Self book? Have any of you guys read that? No one here has read that book? So that's a really, really amazing book, especially on network marketing skills. But it's written by a gal who's like really high up in Roden and Fields. And but she talks about the power of leverage in webinars, right? Because a lot of people think that like what you want as you bring new coaches on, and for you guys that are not diamond yet to get to diamond and above, is you want people to feel comfortable knowing that they can do what you do, right? They don't want you to feel like I did at one point with Vicki, where I thought she was some magical unicorn. But that was before Vicki like was new to leadership, right? She didn't share like she does now. Like she didn't share her tools or like exactly what she does. She just was working. That's all she did was just work. And she didn't understand why everyone else couldn't do what she was doing, right? And it was because she wasn't telling us what she was doing. But now she's learned her lesson, right? Like, you know, so she now shares everything she does. So now we're like, oh, okay, now we can put our own spin on it, right? The thing with webinars is that I feel like personally, the less perfect and polished you are, the more it inspires others to join you and to be able to do the same. Because they literally go, that chick is a fucking hot mess. And if she can do this, I know I can do this. Like, I tell my coaches this all the time. I'm like, y'all, I am like the most unorganized, ridiculously person. Like, I mean, I'm just like all over the place all the time. I'm like, if you ever have any doubts that you can become diamond or succeed in this business, just take a look at me and be like, okay, I got it, right? Like, I mean, it's the truth. Like, you just gotta, and that's how you have to kind of approach it and put your fear aside, because it is scary. Like, I texted Vicki before our webinar. I was like, I'm scared shitless. Like, and she's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I just always get scared before I do anything, you know? You just got to do it anyway.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. All right. So can't wait to see who gets there first and signs up. And if you don't get there first, you can always sign up for November's. All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on today. And hi, Alexis. I know you're watching the recording. She's deployed for those of you that didn't know. So we're recording
I'm
it.
getting my package soon.
What kind of package are you sending her?
Sent her a giant care package. It was so heavy, I shoved the crap out of it, stuff in it.
All right, ladies. Well, everyone have a good day, and thanks for hopping on again. Bye, guys.